We've talked all this stuff about Origins and all the cool things that happen. Now let's talk about Origins versus Gencon.
Dun dun.
In one corner, we have Gencon.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
I feel like we need a bell. Ding, ding, ding. All right. So we've been to Gencon a plethora of times.
Yeah.
I've been every year since 2003, which is like 13 times. It's going to be my 14th this year. You've been probably at least double digits now, right?
I'd say around 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Origins, we've only been twice. So obviously some of this might be a little bit first impression-y, you know, because there's a lot more that can happen at Origins. We're a little bit more versed with Gen Con and the ins and outs of it. We know all the cool little things you can get into as such. But we're gonna compare them. So first topic, vendor hall.
Okay.
What do you think?
There's room at Origins, and at Gen Con, you're cattle.
Yeah, you are cattle. Now, apparently this year they're expanding it a little bit, which I felt was interesting because the vendor hall used to be big and then it got smaller. And then they got smaller and they got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and also it looked like the layout is a lot more grid.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll flow. I still say if they put trash cans right in the middle of an intersection, that just causes issues. I mean, I understand. I don't think anyone's just going to throw trash on the ground.
Right, yeah.
So remove the garbage cans that are like right in the middle of an intersection.
Who's walking around with that much trash anyway?
That's what I'm saying. It's causing an obstacle that causes issues.
Yeah. Like the ones that are near like the food court areas or like where they're serving some kind of like food, like little pretzel stands and stuff like that or whatever. Like I feel like, yeah, sure, keep those there, but like in the middle of the freaking vendor hall?
Like I said, no one's going to just throw it on the ground.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
there's
one
probably
next to the art the art people, you know, where all the exhibitors are for the art.
Right.
Why? They're not drawing anything right now. They're going to throw away. They're probably going to sign that for somebody and give it away. Every time I look, these things are not that full. So yeah, it's blocking a lot of people because the hallways aren't that big.
Right.
You get backpacks and
the hallway size difference between the two is pretty big.
Yeah, obviously this is the hustle and bustle convention. It is definitely more commercial, and I hear all the time people are saying that Origins is a better choice to start off with than Gen Con. What do you feel about that?
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to go and buy all the new games? Because no, Origins is not the best choice.
I agree.
Gen Con would be the better choice on that.
Way more game releases at Gen Con. There is not that many at Origins, and if there is, it's usually Kickstarters and things like that. People are going to wait for Gen Con.
Yeah.
They want to make that splash. I mean, it is smart to kind of release it at Origins, though, because it is a month before it, a couple months before it.
Not a lot of competition with other releases.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, but I don't know if that actually plays out in the business world.
Right.
It just makes sense talking about it.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like it depends on what you want to do. But at the same time, what you want to do is still attainable in both. Like, you want to play lots of games. I felt like there's more opportunities to play games at Gen Con.
Well, there's a few vendors missing from
Origins.
Well, no, take that back. They're there. I forget that they're not all in the vendor hall. There's some that are in the play area. So I was about to say, I don't think Fantasy Flight was there, but they are. But they were in the play area.
We didn't even go see them.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was having trouble. But I know they were there because I remember the banner. But they're just not in the vendor hall taking up half of it like they do at Gen Con.
Right.
So
now you probably have a better chance of sitting down with that company and playing a longer demo. Because if you're trying to play demos inside the vendor hall at Gen Con,
they're shuffling you.
You're getting through a round or through whatever, makes sense.
Because they need to show the next person, get up, next group down.
Right. And then I feel like you play a demo at Origins, you play the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, demoing it is the whole game. I think that one game we didn't finish. The rest of them, I think we pretty much finished.
That was one of the hotter ones.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
That was their new game they brought out.
Right, exactly. So, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really matter. Both places you're going to be able to find the time or find the things to do for playing games.
Right.
Or at least we have. I mean, we don't even really sign up for that many events at Gen Con anymore.
No.
And one, you've got the library. which I don't. Does Origins have a library? I never even looked it up.
I'm not sure.
I brought one of the event books home to look through this.
Yeah.
But let's just say they had a library.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, like going around to the different, like Mayfair and Rio Grande, and other places, I mean, you could totally just sit down and play games all day.
Right.
Obviously, like Gencon, they might just cost generic tickets, like $2 a piece kind of thing. But usually you're getting more than just playing the game. Like you're getting their version of gaining resource ribbons or something like that, or stamps or whatever. So at the end, you can get a 50% off coupon, things like that. They incentivize you for playing their games.
Right.
But playing games is not a problem at either convention.
No.
So
you might not get to play the game you're really at Gen Con. It's more of because there's a high demand on probably a game that's new that you want to try out. And I've run into it too. It's like you can check all weekend and it's like, I'm not going to stand here for an hour just waiting to try this game. I'll stand here and watch it.
Like Mysterium.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that thing was booked after the first day. They had a planner taking reservations to try that game out.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, you're less likely to play the games you want as far as like your top 10 order, but you're still going to be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Either way.
I guess two quick things I'll say different too was like the Mayfair area is a lot bigger at Gen Con. Like where they do like their official setup where they sell their games and stuff.
Right.
They still had like a play area that normally would be with the TCG games.
I'd say right now at Origins they probably had 12 tables, maybe 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But at Gen Con it's like 30.
There's a ton of them.
Oh yeah.
That is a huge area they got there. And then
it was probably easier at Gen Con to sit down and play a game.
Yeah, because they have so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually you're right. And then the generic tickets, Origins has got that going on.
Oh, with the tokens?
The little tokens.
Yeah, they got these little plastic kind of poker chips that have Origins 2016 on it. I guess they change each year, but that is way cooler than carrying out little paper tickets.
Right.
In the end, it's still the same stuff. You're still going to get rid of it, but it's kind of neat.
But if I went back to the year that I have walked away with $20-something in generics, at least I'd had chips I could have used in a board game.
That's true, yeah, like little poker
souvenir or something. I mean, just something instead of like pieces of paper that are just I threw away the other day because I found them.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing about the vendor stuff is that with Gen Con, the vendor hall stops. That's it. I mean, it's done for buying things. Now you're going off and playing games and stuff like that.
Right.
But the interesting thing about Origins is they spill out some of their vendors into the play area. Mm-hmm. And then they're still selling product.
Right. They stay open a few more hours after it closes.
Some of them are all the way up until midnight kind of thing. I mean, I think that hall closes at 1 a.m. Now, Gen Con is 24/7 with most of their stuff. Origins, I think a lot of it closes at 1 or so.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of neat that you can buy product still over there. Not that that's going to be a selling point to a convention, but you know what I'm saying. It's just something that's kind of, I thought was a little bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think that as far as, we haven't signed up for that many events at Gen Con, but I feel like with going 4 days, we can find ourselves stuff to do every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But with Origins, even if I went 4 days, don't say 5, let's say 4 days to equal Gen Con. Do you think you would need to schedule events? Now, obviously, the more people that you meet and you start talking to them and things like that, that's a different story.
Right.
Now, if you want to consider that part of your convention experience, that's fine. But let's just say experiencing the convention as far as games and the events and things like that, I feel like if you were there for 4 days or 5 days, you would almost need to schedule events.
Yeah, because you'll
maybe run out of stuff to do.
Yeah, the games. I mean, you can only demo them so many times. Or I mean, I guess if you're really into Mayfair, they do have, in Rio Grande, they've got areas set up where, like you said, they can give you benefits for playing their games as many times as you want.
Right.
But yeah, I would think. But I mean, if you just want to go and do nothing but play games, I mean, you're going to do it at Origins.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Well, let's move on to another thing to compare them against, and that is deals. Oh, deals.
Okay.
that's a good thing to talk about because I am a treasure hunter when it comes to games. Obviously, I hit up all the Goodwills and half-price books and Barnes & Noble red tag events and things like that. I like to find games for cheap.
Right.
Eric's the same way. Obviously, you like cheap games too. Maybe not as much as me and Eric.
Yeah, I don't actively seek it out like you guys do. But, I mean, obviously, if I see it, I want to jump on it.
But so I'll talk second on this because I have more to say than probably you do. But what do you think about the deals in comparison to Gencon? You know, like it was dramatically different this year than the first year, but go ahead.
Yes, that I don't remember seeing that many markdowns at Gencon. You know, it's like Yellow. I mistook their sign. It said 25% off. I thought it was just on Innovation, or is that what it is?
Innovation.
Yeah, Innovation and some other game that was sitting there. Then I look around. It's everything. It's
20% off everything.
And I don't remember them ever doing that at Gen Con. Maybe I just haven't noticed it. I don't know. It seemed like Blue Orange had a bunch of games marked down, you know, just to get rid of them. Maybe I just haven't seen it, but I've never noticed it. I've always seen you be easier to wheel and deal with some of the I don't know what you call them, but like the people that just got like a hot,
almost like a game store that came there and had a booth.
Yeah,
they're just like a realtor or something, or like retailer.
Like Cool Stuff was just walking around with a sticker thing, just marking games down, and it was I kind of made the joke, just follow that guy around and see what he puts stickers on. But
that was slightly irritating because they marked down Waste Nights the day after I bought it.
Yeah,
I was like, whatever, but I mean, I'm still fine with this because the game's like $70 MSRP, and they had it for $35.
Right.
And it was 20% off of that. 20% off $35, and they marked it down to $30, 20% off that. So it's not really that big of a deal.
And let's talk about their scratch and dent section.
Oh, it was scratch and perfect section.
It was all the cellophane was ripped a little bit. Yeah. Please, everybody, check that out because it's ridiculous. Or it might just have a small crease that you're probably okay paying like quite a bit less for.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I can't remember what game it was. I don't remember what game it was, but I bought a game and maybe it was Lost Cities. It wasn't even scratch and dent, but I noticed a small little dent on the inside.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was there until I was unwrapping it and stuff. But like, you're right. You look at that shelf and you're like, hey, why is this game $20 cheaper? Oh, well, the cellophane is ripped twice. I'm going to rip that off.
Yeah.
It's coming off. It's not going to sit on my shelf. Perfect.
Right.
But even games that were like damaged. Now, there were a few that were really damaged.
Yeah.
Those are really obvious, but they were really marked down.
Yeah.
But the games that were like just, I mean, cosmetic blemish, like the smallest thing, like maybe a corner had the, you pressed in on the edge.
Right.
Just a little bit to make that little crinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, $20 off. I mean, sign me up.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the deals were a lot better this time, or at least we saw a lot better deals than last time, and especially on Sunday, man, like an hour or two before they closed down.
Right.
Flash sale.
Yeah.
It's like everything's like 25% off, like you were saying. Even like Haba, or not Haba, was it Haba or Blue Orange? You said
it was Blue Orange.
Yeah, Blue Orange. I mean, they put some crazy prices on some of their games and stuff. I mean, you can find a lot of cool stuff. And unlike Gen Con, where you've got 60,000+ people competing for that kind of stuff, this is far less. Mm-hmm. And they're willing to wheel and deal. The more you buy, the more you save.
Right.
That is definitely a saying that you can get away with there.
Right.
Now, our buddy at, what was it, Castle Games? Is
Eric?
That what it's called? Yeah, Eric. Not the Eric that was on the show, but yeah, Eric, he, if you if you haven't experienced this at Gen Con, he is kind of like the Rio Grande booth.
Yeah.
Where they all pretty much only have Rio Grande
There's
games.
stacks of Dominion up to your face.
Yeah, and he gets up on top of the shelves and he starts yelling. He's like, "Everybody, show me $20.
Right.
Show me. I need to get rid of these games." He was really cool, and this is the first time they got to come to Origins. They were a little bit more chill because they were
restrictions.
Oppressed. I mean,
they were oppressed.
they had a little bit of restrictions because I guess Origins a little bit crazier about this. But yeah, I mean he was there, and apparently they did really well. He's a really funny guy.
Right.
But yeah, I got that's where I got Kalis.
Yes.
Kalis. I have not tried Kalis. I feel like I'm not a gamer until I try Kalis. I'm gonna have to try this, but Yeah, overall the game, I like all the little wheels. Now, these things are at Gen Con as well, where they have a coupon book. Let's talk about the coupon book. That's a good one.
Okay.
Now, I feel like the coupon book was a little bit better this year at Origins. Gen Cons is always usually good, and I'm not going to talk about the good old days of the Gen Con swag bag.
Swag bag.
That's getting old school. But talking about the Gen Con coupon book alone, I feel like there's better coupons in the Gen Con one, but there's still a lot of great ones this year at Origins.
Origins was kind of on par.
It was on par. Yeah, they did really well with it. And I really like the fact that they had a lot of the spin to win things. I always like that. It's so gimmicky. Yeah. But
or Eagle Griffin with their tumbling dice discount. Yes. I mean, so
yeah, Eagle Griffin had I don't know. Did they have this I don't remember seeing them at Gen Con. Well, either way, while you think about that, they have a tumbling dice set up, and you flick a die, and whatever it lands on, that's the percentage they give you off your total order.
Yes.
So up to 24%, which as far as online stuff goes, I mean, maybe you can find it cheaper online, but it's just a really fun way to get people over and get percentage off.
Right.
It doesn't cost you anything.
No.
You just walk over, hand them your ticket from your book, you flick the die, and then they write the percentage on there.
Right.
So I ended up giving mine to some random girl that was buying one game.
I used mine to get baseball highlights.
Yeah, we're gonna play that.
So I got 18.
Oh yeah.
I put 6 on the 3.
I got 9. If I wrote anything like my review video,
well, it was evidently better than the lady you gave it to. So
she didn't have one.
Oh, she didn't have one.
No,
okay.
And I didn't plan on buying anything anyway because I kind of put my stuff into your order.
Right.
So I mean that just made sense.
Right.
Speaking of which, I got the Xenon Profiteer expansion. We're looking, a little mini expansion with the little characters and stuff. Right. That's the thing you bought me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean their coupon book was straight up on par. I mean they've got the die that you can get just like in Gen Con.
Right.
They have
Boss Monster.
Boss Monster promos. yeah. And they I mean there are lots of promos everywhere. A lot of they had a lot of crap that is I call it crap, but at the same time it's you buy free with buy, free with purchase or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you buy a game, it's like $30 and you get a promo or whatever. So it's like, why even advertise that? I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like that's great marketing. Like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone I know bypasses that stuff unless they were there to go buy it anyway.
Yeah, and sometimes even I don't know the some of them where you got something if you just at least demoed.
Yeah. So that's fine. I don't mind that. Give me one promo card for playing your game. That's cool.
Right.
Because it does get me over there to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I've never heard of you, offer me a promo for spending $30 at your booth is not going to incentivize me any more so than it already had.
Right.
I was already interested in your game, and you're going to give me a promo anyway.
Promo is short for promotional.
Right. Yeah.
So you're not promoting it by making me spend money to get it.
Right. Exactly.
It's an extra.
Right. So whatever on that. I feel like Gen Con has some really cool promos, but at the same time, you have more audience to grab with those. So maybe companies are putting better and better promos into the Gen Con stuff sometimes.
Right.
One thing that both kind of fail at, honestly, is the fact that you can get multiple coupon books. I don't know how shady this is, but I'm going to call it out anyway. If you're going to leave an entire stack of coupon books just on the table, like get it yourself kind of thing, and people are grabbing 2 or 3 at a time, like it's not like they're going back and grabbing one and being shady about it. Like literally, like they're walking up, they got their badge, grab a stack of coupon books.
Well, Gen Con I think is a little different because sometimes they'll be like, do you already got one? But that's when they're handing them out.
That's when they're handing it out at the times when people are registering.
Right.
But later on, like at noon or something like that, they just got stacks of them sitting there.
Right.
And you can get them at your leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, companies have supplies. A lot of their promos are while supplies last. It's not like they've got a promo for every single book that's being handed out.
Right.
But, I mean, the eBay hounds.
Mm-hmm. We know them.
Yeah. Whatever. It's just kind of interesting. I don't know why they I wish they would have done that with a swag bag. Just walk up and grab swag bag after swag bag.
Yeah.
Man, the good old days of Gen Con.
Right.
If you've never been to Gen Con when they gave out a swag bag, I'm seriously like, one year they gave out like a WoW TCG starter box.
Yep.
And I mean, that comes.
There was almost always a Magic starter deck in them.
Or starter decks after starter decks. I mean, there was like buttons and pins and patches.
Right.
And, the coupon book was still in there.
Yep.
I mean, there was all kinds of stuff. Now it's a little bit more expensive, I guess. So maybe companies didn't want to do that, and it went downhill and downhill. I remember Dreamblade put a booster box in one, and then everybody I went with gave it to me.
Right.
So I didn't have to buy a lot of Dreamblade stuff when it came out. Very sad about that game going away. But yeah, very good, very good. Any other thoughts on Gen Con or anything you want to compare and contrast?
I'd say a big comparison is we talked earlier in the Origins as far as being able to talk to the designers and stuff. Again, when they're trying to shuffle, they don't have time to talk to you. So
yeah,
it's a lot more personable at Origins, and you just have a lot more time to just kind of stand around and talk. Gen Con is a lot more,
hustle bustle.
You're moving, you're trying to get somewhere. You got a million events scheduled. But at the same time, Gen Con can seem a little bit more social because you do run into more people, I guess, that you haven't seen in a while. And they do have more like big social events. They got their dance and just other things that are, I guess, mass social kind of things. They'll have entertainers and stuff like that. I don't know. But I didn't really see anything like that. Maybe Origins has a dance. I never heard about it. But
yeah, I don't think so. But we'll check through the event log and see what's in there. But as of right now, just comparing last year's Gen Con and Origins, because we haven't went to Gen Con this year to compare it.
Right.
If you had to choose one, which one would you pick?
I could only go to one?
Only one.
Man. I don't know. I really like both of them. I don't mind crowds, but I don't like them.
Fair enough.
So, the atmosphere at Origins is a lot more fun, but it tends to be I have more fun at Gen Con.
I see that.
So I would probably go to Gen Con.
I'm going to say from the normal attendee of me, Gen Con. But I'm going to say as the professional of me in the industry, as far as like reviewing games and stuff like that, definitely Origins. Gen Con, you have to schedule too much stuff for that. People are way too busy to meet with you, especially if you're not really that well known.
Right.
But I feel like I can approach people a lot better at Origins.
And it's hard to meet them at Gen Con because same reasons we've been saying.
Exactly. So that's what I would say. I kind of really hope that I can go both from now on, but at the same time, if it had to be like life changes and scaled back down to one convention for some reason of those two,
right?
I would have to say Gen Con, but it's also kind of sentimental to me at this point because I've been so many times.
Yeah, and that I don't. It even weighs the same way with like I would like to take my family to Origins, but my kids would have a lot more fun at Gen Con. Part of the cosplay.
Yeah, cosplay is almost not there.
Yes,
either that or it's so separated that we've never seen it.
Yeah, and you saw a little bit of it, but I mean the kids have a ball walking around and seeing like characters that they love and stuff like that. So that's why I bring them up on Saturday because that's when the parade is, and
yeah,
and usually my daughter likes to dress up too, but. So like I said, I would rather take them to Origins, but I know they would have more fun at Gen Con.
Fair enough. Well, we'd like to hear what you think. Send us emails to MeepleCore@gmail.com, or if you're watching the video version of this, comment below. Mm-hmm. Comment below, people.
Yes.
Down below.